Hello and welcome to Fish Tuxedo for our E3 Recap-A-Palooza.
Yeah.
I am
It's gonna be a
Mike
nutty one.
Fire Video Games, Jonathan Downen.
That's me. And
That's
yeah,
you.
we are going to be talking E3 2014. If you've been following our stuff throughout the week, we've done recaps of all the press conferences. A supercut of all of those just went up if you want to check that out. So we're going to take this opportunity to go down item by item and talk about everything. So unlike regular casual Wednesdays, this is probably going to be like an hour and a half or 2 hours long.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one. Plus, it's Friday.
We hope you like us. Yeah, plus it's Friday.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope you like us because this could be a bumpy ride otherwise. And just right up front, I will be posting timestamps so that if you just want to jump to Microsoft or Ubisoft or at the end when we comment on whatever else happened, you could just jump right to there because maybe you don't give a shit about Microsoft. Maybe you just want to hear about Sony because you're a shill. Or, you know, maybe you just want to listen to Nintendo because you like baby toys.
Yeah, maybe you're an X-bot, you know.
Yeah, fucking.
Maybe you're a Sony crony.
Yeah, right.
Maybe you're a terrible human. Who knows?
$M for Microsoft.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna kick this off just going chronological.
Sounds good.
Because that makes sense, right? So starting with Microsoft. Yeah, you want to start reading these off? But just for a reference, we are going off the Giant Bomb news recaps for these, and we're going down each one if you want to follow along. So
your trusted source for written information.
Yes,
about video games.
We'll cover the video. Actually, they cover the video too, but we cover video. They do written. It's a real partnership we got going.
I don't write. I never learned how. I was never taught.
It's hard. It's difficult.
It's difficult. Just. It never happened. So anyway, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Any feelings on that?
Yeah, it looks cool. That the gameplay stuff they showed, it looks like a definite step up graphically from what they've been doing, and the new setting as far as the timeline goes, like soon, like close future stuff, looks like it's going to afford them some cool opportunities for you know, stuff like jetpacks on grenades.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? And fucking they're doing their double jump stuff and all that. That's cool. Yeah, and you're right. The jetpack grenades. Just twisting the top and then it's like, oh, hey, there's a little cyclone thing going on.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. It's
for sure.
It's the first time I've been excited for a Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2, probably. So
yeah, and this is being handled by Sledgehammer, which, I mean, you could go either way on, like, they're unproven or whatever, even though they've done some minor stuff on past iterations. But I think that's great that they have, like, completely new blood on a new entry. Like, yeah, let some people put their mark on that series, that franchise. So.
Yeah, and I haven't had a whole ton of faith in that franchise in a long time. You know, ever since the guys from Infinity Ward left to form Respawn, they I don't know. They were the A team, and now they are the B team. What is left of Infinity Ward, and then you have with the other guys, Treyarch. Treyarch, yeah. I couldn't. I was gonna say like Trident. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, Treyarch. They are now like the A team, and Sledgehammer is kind of coming in here. We thought they were working on for the longest time. We thought they were working on an action game, but no longer.
Yeah, it was like a third-person action game. I mean, by most accounts, everything I've heard, that was a real thing. It just got canceled. So, and anyway, they're on this. So.
Yep. So that looks pretty good. Surprisingly good. Moving right along, Forza 5 was shown because they announced the Burger King ring.
Oh yeah, the Burger King, the classic Burger King ring.
The classic, straight out
of Burger King onion ring.
Yeah, the guy saying that is like it's Nürburgring, but it sounded like he said Burger King.
Yeah.
I thought this was like a Sneak King kind of thing, you know?
Right.
Or whatever that.
That's cool. I don't care about Forza 5, but I'm sure that means something to some people.
Assassin's Creed Unity. They showed 4-player co-op. Does that interest you?
Oh, so good, man. That whole presentation, that thing is pretty. And, I mean, those 4 assassins running around that city, I mean, it looks incredible. I was blown away. I really was.
Yeah, that game looks ridiculous. It's amazing, you know, because I was expecting, oh, look, it's another Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
You know, we know what to expect from this. They showed them, or maybe this wasn't Microsoft. It might have been at Ubisoft, but they showed the new animations and stuff like that. Them climbing down the building. Wow. Oh my God, that was amazing. Yeah, that game looks incredible.
Yeah, I think it was at the Ubisoft thing, but there was one specific shot where they showed the crowd, and it was just out of control. Like
Hmm.
the amount of NPCs on the screen and just like the movement, like everything was moving. And I think that's what I'm really excited to see with like current gen stuff is like stuff dynamically moving more. Like not just static models just sitting there all weird, like completely static. Like just add a little movement in there and stuff is looking like really, really good. And Assassin's Creed showed that, I think. So
Yeah, and you know, Assassin's Creed is really good at making those worlds feel lived in. You know, they always have
yeah.
big crowds, and this was just better. You know, it looked even better. It is. I mean, it doesn't look too groundbreaking. You know, let's not try to fool ourselves. But it is very iterative in a good way. It seems like with this game.
Yeah. And I enjoyed 4 quite a bit. I'll play a prettier version of that in a new setting. Yeah.
Definitely. And just along with that note, they said they did comment on what they wanted to do, like what the direction they were going with Assassin's Creed Unity was. They had mentioned that, and this was, you know, not in the conference, but in general, they said that they were going to go they were looking back at like Assassin's Creed 1 and what they tried to do. You know what I mean? I think that this is like, because we're at a new generation now, it's a great chance for them to really. Because if you play Assassin's Creed 1, it is very far gone in Assassin's Creed 4. Completely different, you know, tone and everything. And they want to take the good things from the newer Assassin's Creed games and stick them into this new one, but with the sensibilities of the first one. So it's they're trying to make it so you're a little less of a superhero. You know, you can't just take on wave after waves of dudes. It's more realistic. Like you can't, you know, it's 1 or 2 dudes you can take, like 3 to 5, like you were doing in Assassin's Creed, you know, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. It's just not reasonable. There's more of a focus, and I think they showed that in the co-op demo. There's a focus on, you know, taking people down, like actually assassinating people,
like being a little stealthy.
Yeah, and that's you know, I really liked Assassin's Creed 4, but that is one of the things that kind of bummed me out is that at least in, you know, Assassin's Creed 2 was a great game, and it wasn't, at that point they weren't so far away from the mark that you still were taking dudes down and climbing up stuff and finding the best ways to assassinate people without getting caught. So I'm glad that they're doing that with this.
Yeah, and it wasn't showed in any form, but I really like the dumb wrapping around those games too. I know it kind of rubs a lot of people the wrong way, but I think I like it. Like, I don't like it like I think it's super awesome. I like it because it's kind of dumb.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I think it's good. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do next with that stuff.
They actually commented on that too, saying that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they said, hey, you like that? Because you know, somebody was like, well, you know, what are you doing with the in-game stuff, and what about the real present-day stuff? And then they're like, oh yeah, we're doing that too. It's gonna be dumb,
Sweet.
Probably dumber. And I was like, awesome. You know?
Yeah, I want that for sure.
So then we have Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah. I'm still
was a
not.
pretty cool trailer that they showed.
I'm still just not digging on that game. I don't know. It's so. It's just not up my alley humor-wise, and like it's just a little bit too bright and like cheery, and I don't know. It doesn't look like it moves super well, and I don't know. I don't want to just shit all over it. I know you're kind of into it, so.
You know, here's the thing, right? Is well, in regards to like the motion stuff, you know, the Giant Bomb guys and a bunch of other people that I've been paying attention to who played it, they have mentioned on podcasts and stuff like that was, I mean, that's been very much a concern because it always looks so smooth and, you know, jumping from place to place. And it looks like it could be a little bit more complicated than it initially seems. But everything that I've heard so far, and obviously I haven't played it, but I've heard that it is actually as good as you would think it is. But I gotta admit, the more I see this game, the less interested I become.
Yeah.
It has been like shown as like this tentpole game for Microsoft, and I've seen it too much now. I feel like.
I mean, it's a weird two things to kind of compare. They're both shooters, but like I was way more interested in Titanfall just in aesthetics and like kind of what they were doing like traversal wise than even this. And I didn't even play that, and I'm kind of okay about that. So this one is probably definitely going to come and go for me.
Yeah, and
Not to mention I don't have an Xbox One. Right?
yeah, no kidding. Neither do I. So I probably won't be getting one anytime soon. But the Sunset Overdrive is just I love the aesthetic, which I know you're not digging on too much, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about it, but
I like that colorful art style. I love that kind of stuff. But it is just. I mean, I did like the way that they were handling that stuff in the trailer, where they were like, "Hey, it's a fucking video game." Like literally, they said it's a fucking video game.
Right. Yeah.
And that's cool because that's kind of the way I look at video games. But it is a little bit ham-fisted to just harp on that. It seems like this is the way they were going with that trailer, where it's just like, military dude shooting against bad guys. And just everything is brown, and then color guy from outside, the Sunset Overdrive dude with fucked up hair kicks down the door and goes, "Hey, bro."
Yeah,
radical, audacious.
They totally redesigned the main character, right?
It looked like it, and it looked horrible.
Yeah, I like the old guy better, but
I think that dude is fully customizable. So.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's just like a whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe
either way, it's stupid. It was so dumb. Yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, no, I kind of agree with you where I'm just not so hot on this game anymore.
Yeah.
When it was first announced last year, I was like, holy shit, what is this game? And the more and more I've seen, I'm like, yeah, it looks like it could be good, but it doesn't look like I will play it very much, even if I do get an Xbox.
Looking back on it, I feel like Titanfall came and went faster than I would have expected. And I kind of wonder if that would have been really different if they would have been multi-platform. It seems like that may have been a big deal, kind of holding it back in a way. And I'm wondering if that's not going to be the case here, but who knows? Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It looks like it's going to be very much a Microsoft's Infamous. Infamous.
Yeah,
it sells well. It sells well. It does well. They're good games, but they're no Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, not even close. Yeah.
And now they have their own exclusive. So what are you gonna do? I think that's about all we have to say about that.
Yeah.
Dead Rising 3 is getting DLC called Super Ultra Dead Rising 3 Arcade Remix Hyper Edition EX Plus Alpha.
Yeah, like everybody else, I loved that announcement and like a lot of the stuff going on there. But I'm not too interested in the game. But
yeah. I'm not a fan of Dead Rising in general, to be honest. I did think it was cool that they said, "Hey, you want this? It's available right now. Get it."
Yeah, that is cool. I wish that happened a bit more. So that is cool.
Yeah, I mean that seemed to be a trend this year. There was a couple things that were doing that, or
right.
Beta. You want it now? Okay.
Go do it. Yeah.
That's all we have to say about that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Fable Legends. How do you feel about this?
I think it looks terrible.
Yep.
I haven't played. I played a bit of the first Fable. I was a big fan of the second Fable. I played that completely through and then some. Really enjoyed it. Skipped 3 because heard it was really bad, and then haven't played anything since. They had that weird Connect one, and then now this. And I don't know. It just feels. It feels like Microsoft's family friendly. We should put this thing out even though nobody really wants it or probably will like it, sort of thing. It's a really confusing move to me. It's just like a capitalization on a franchise, but I feel like they're like burning it into the ground almost.
Yeah, I'm pretty confused, to be honest, about this Fable Legends thing, because when I tweeted about it, the second I saw it, I was like, hey, this is Fable, not Fable, is what they should have called it, because it is not Fable. It is a 4-player action co-op game where it's kind of Evolve-like in that way, where it's 4-on-1. I mean, what they showed was a match of four players playing different characters, different classes, and then there was one bad guy going after them. So, kind of in that Evolve vein, just 4v1, and then the one is overpowered in a way. or can be. And then you have to kind of coordinate with the 4 of you to try to, outsmart the one overpowered bad guy, which is cool in concept, but that is not what Fable is or has ever been about.
Yeah, totally. You saying that stuff does remind me that they also like showed in that trailer that you can be the villain and like then you get like an overhead tower defense style like view where you can like put traps and stuff or something.
Yeah, like almost dungeon defender-y, you know?
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Could be good, but
look, and here's the thing, man, is that that's a cool and novel idea. That's cool, but why does it have to be a Fable game? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, strange.
And it's just because that is a franchise that they own, and it's they can do it.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. I was disappointed about it.
Right.
You know, to be honest. So here's another thing that we're moving right along to other things that people are disappointed about. Project Spark is going to be available eventually, Jonathan.
Yeah.
But now, your favorite squirrel anthropomorphic character has now been announced to not have his own game because you get to make it in Project Spark. Conquer.
When was the last time Conquer was in a game?
Xbox, the original one.
Conquer's Bad Fur Day, is that the last time he showed up anywhere?
You forgot the remastered.
Oh, remastered. Yeah, I did forget about that.
Yeah, I think that was on Xbox.
I don't think anybody cares about Conquer, and I would argue that a lot of gamers might not even know who Conquer is.
You're probably right. We know who he is because we are more informed than most people, but I think that the only people who are really upset that Conquer is not getting his own game and is just a playable character in Project Spark were all 3 people who complained about it on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't care.
So, I did think that was kind of a slap in the face to fans, though, because there has to be a few. I mean, there's fucking fans of Cameo and shit like that. Right. So there's got to be fans of Conquer, and for him he came out in the middle of right at the end of that trailer and was like, I haven't had a game in 15 years or whatever he said, and then they were like
irreverent humor, you know.
And we're like, yeah, it's true. So make your own, dickhead. And he was like, I guess I can only do that because nobody cares enough. He's like, how did Banjo get a new game and I didn't? Right. So whatever. Who cares? Yeah. Ori and the Blind Forest. That looked amazing.
Yeah, cool looking little platformer thing. Great art style going on. I don't know much about it. Just a real quick reveal trailer on that. Looks cool.
And it had a really cool aesthetic. So, yeah, it's about all we can... Oh, shook the camera. That's about all we can really say about that. It just looked really nice.
Yeah.
And here we go. The big news. The Master Chief Collection.
I am very excited about this, actually. I think I'm really attracted to having all 4 of those games just in a package. That just seems cool. I'm a pretty big Halo guy, though. I like my Halo. And... put them all together, and it seems like they're handling the multiplayer stuff correctly. Where when you jump into a certain map, it'll just play however it played, depending on which game it's from. Yeah. So if you're jumping into a Halo 1 map, you're going to get Halo 1 physics and weapons and all that stuff, and all down the line. So that seems like a cool way to handle that stuff. Halo 2 is getting completely remastered, Halo 1 style. So that's cool. It seems all good.
Yeah, and it's going to be, I mean, that's honestly a crazy value. It makes me wish I had an Xbox One because that is insane. That's an awesome package to have. Halo 1 through 4 with all the multiplayers intact, and then you get the beta for Halo 5, which is kind of cool, I guess. Whatever. And then they have that mini series, which is also kind of cool. But the biggest news about this package, Jonathan, is you get 4,000 gamers.
4,000. Yeah.
There's 4 games in there, and we want you to know it.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I think I said it on Twitter, but I think this may be, weirdly enough, the package that will get me to buy an Xbox One sooner rather than later. I want to play through those games again, and if they're running super sweet on a current gen console and looking good and up res and stuff, that would be great. Also, but it should be noted there have been rumblings that this may show up on PC. So,
well,
I
real
kind of
quick,
doubt it actually, but
yeah,
this seems unlikely to me. But there have been rumblings.
This game, while you were saying it's going to look really good, it's going to be 1080p and 60 frames per second, which is totally needed for these types of games, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be, frankly. So that was good news just to hear, anyway. And to the effect of the PC, I guess it was during previews or something when they were showing up the menu. There was a mouse cursor on the screen before they actually got into gameplay. So that's why people are saying that they think it's going to be on PC. Plus, there's been rumblings about Microsoft kind of trying to get more into the PC gaming market.
Yeah, I think specifically with the mouse thing, like there was some text that said like press left mouse button to proceed or something until they moved the controller, and it was like it switched to press A or something. So
okay. See, I was going to say that it just the way it was described sounded kind of like it was the development version. It was in the development version, so obviously there's going to be a mouse on screen. But when you describe it like that that sounds like he was put there with a purpose. So.
Yeah, it does. But just platform-wise, like even if they've kind of built it thinking like maybe it's a possibility, it just seems like they'd want to keep that on Xbox, especially a package like that. I mean, it's such an intrinsically Xbox thing. I mean, I'm all for having it on PC, and I think it'd be cool if it was, but I'd just be really surprised if that happens.
They have Forza Horizon 2 coming to Xbox 360, so
yeah,
who knows? I mean, I think I am a little bit confused with some of their decisions about with that. They're okay with things going to other Xbox branded products. Even though the one that they should be pushing is just the Xbox One, I think. Right. But who knows how that'll be handled. And it's actually not on this list, but yeah, Forza Horizon 2.
Yeah, looks great.
Yep.
I'm interested. I want to play that game.
It looks very good. It's just I'm 30 frames per second. I'm disappointed. And
yeah, that's a bummer.
It's a fast game. It has to be fast, and it's just if it doesn't run as I noticed that last night I was playing Watch Dogs, and you can't I was playing multiplayer Watch Dogs, and that game hitches so hard, and it was just it's hard to play that game and be fast. And with something like Forza, Forza Horizon 2, it's inexcusable, to be honest. It's just it has to be fast. It has to run smoothly. But I guess that remains to be seen. Okay, so moving right along, indie game, Inside, made by the guys who made Limbo.
Yeah, that game looks really intriguing. Again, that real stark black and white contrasty art style. It looks they've taken it a lot further, a lot of depth in the backgrounds and stuff like that. It looks great, and it looks like they might be doing a little bit more overt story stuff this time around, which could be cool. I'm super interested. I want to play it.
Me too. That looks awesome. I saw that trailer and I was, and that between that and Ori in the Blind Forest, that was just two indie surprises that they both of those games look so good, but Inside in particular, that's just the environments and everything were just so beautiful. It was So yeah, and then they announced a ton of indie games are coming to Xbox One with a huge montage.
Right.
Anything that stood out to you in particular?
I don't really recall what all was in there. Just a Cuphead is one of those, I guess. Which that's been kind of had people excited because it harkens back to that what is it 30s style animation stuff.
Steamboat Willie kind of.
Steamboat Willie, right?
That was I mean when I was watching that trailer, they skipped to Cuphead and I saw that and I was like, what the fuck is that? I was like, holy shit, that looks amazing. Yeah. And then they just flipped right by it, and I was like, whoa. And I paused the stream and Googled it and watched every trailer that was available for that game. That game is awesome. I mean, it looks awesome. I mean, it's who knows how it plays, but it's such a gorgeous game. It has that art style perfectly.
Yeah, that's some cool stuff. I like to see there's so many sources of inspiration that people can pull from. So it's cool to see see that stuff, because it totally makes sense that would be possible to do. But when
Yeah.
you see that, you look at it and you think, is that really a game? When of course it can be a game. It's just like
Definitely.
so striking that like it's just blows your mind a little bit seeing it. It's cool.
And then, are you excited to play Threes on an Xbox One?
No. Pass.
Okay, so Rise of the Tomb Raider. That's cool.
Yeah, man. Did you like the last Tomb Raider game?
Yeah, I did. I dug it. I didn't. I mean, I played a couple hours of it. Honestly, I didn't play too much. It's. I mean, I would think about getting the what is it? Whatever the one is for the
Definitive
PlayStation
edition.
4 and stuff. Yeah, the definitive edition.
Yeah.
I would think about getting that like if I have downtime, because that is one of those games where I played a little bit and I wanted to play more, but just never did.
I really loved that game. I finished it and I went back and almost like 100% collected all the things on the island. I really dug it. Like the combat felt really good to me. Just the pacing, like the environments, traversal, that all felt awesome. So I'm totally pumped for another one of these. I'm glad they're getting right on it. And who knows? It was just a CG trailer, so it's probably a ways out. I would think at earliest next holiday.
Yeah,
like
I
holiday
think so.
2015. Yeah.
I do like. I just really like the way they are taking this Lara Croft. I like the way they're taking the character. And I think I had heard it mentioned. It was the other game was called Tomb Raider, and now this is Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Right.
It's like shouldn't the other one been like the Tomb Raider wakes up? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So beyond that looks pretty. I mean, it looks cool, but it was obviously just a CGI trailer. So we'll find out more about that in the near future, I'm sure. And then there was this awesome demo of Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. Wow.
Yeah. Did you play the other Witcher games?
I played the first one. I played quite a bit of the first one, and the story was really cool, and the game looked great.
Yeah.
And it was at a point where I was trying to consume every Western RPG that I could possibly consume, and I just happened to see that at like a Target or something, and I was like, what the fuck is this game? Picked it up, and it was really good, and for whatever reason I just stopped and then never picked it back up. And I've been meaning to, because I own it, and I have a physical copy sitting in my closet, and I want to play The Witcher 2 because I've heard so much about it.
Yeah.
And then with The Witcher 3, holy shit, that game looks amazing. So.
Yeah, I skipped the first one, and I tried to play the second one, but those games are just real dense and like real heavy mechanically and real sort of obtuse. Like you really have to commit to learning a thing. It's not like where you pick up a first-person shooter today, and it's like every other first-person shooter. It's like click left stick to run, like iron sights shoot. It's like they made their whole system, and it's like all unique to that game, and it's real. Yeah. It makes it real kind of hard to jump into, and frankly a little intimidating. So like as excited as I am about The Witcher 3, I hope they've kind of like, I know everyone always like is scared that devs are going to be dumbing stuff down, right? Like dumbing down their games. But in this case, like I hope they do kind of simplify that stuff. Like just make it a little bit easier to pick up and play, and everything else about it looks awesome. Like I know everyone loves their story stuff. It looks graphically amazing. Like it looks like it's going to be great. I just hope it's a little bit easier to jump into than 2 seem to be.
Yeah, I totally agree. It is very that whole franchise is really dense. That's the best way to put it. And it's it's the most like European of the RPGs that you can get, that because they are very mechanically driven and just very heavy on that kind of stuff. And it can be like it's one of those games where you walk away from it for 15 minutes and you're like, how do I play this game?
It's almost like the Western version of Dark Souls, in that it just has its real specific stuff going on, and you got to commit to just learning it.
Totally.
But yeah,
that's actually a really good analog.
Yeah.
So Phantom Dust is getting remade.
I know nothing about that game. I knew of it when it came out, but I never played it. I just know it's like a card collecting, fighting sort of thing. I don't know.
That's what I know about that game. So.
All right, moving on.
Tom Clancy's The Division.
Yeah, it continues to look super sweet. I absolutely want to play that game. They showed like another like player instance similar to kind of last year. I think they kind of like moved through a few new environments and ended up trying to capture like some sort of outlook station or something.
Yeah.
It looks cool. I don't know.
It looks a little too good. I'm
Yeah.
super skeptical about how that game's gonna look.
Hmm.
And I mean, but to be honest, The Witcher 3 looks way too good to be true, and that is allegedly running on, Xbox One hardware.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
and
think
then
the thing about the Division is there seem to be a lot more systems wrapping around the core gameplay stuff. Like The Witcher, I can kind of understand. Yeah, it's an open world RPG. We kind of know what that means. But like
yeah,
this, it seems like there's just layer after layer after layer of stuff that's just like wrapping in on each other, and it's all supposed to work super well. So I
yeah,
think that's where the skepticism comes in.
and it's very RPG like apparently.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm cool with. It just I didn't know. I wasn't sure if I was expecting it. To have like numbers flying off people, like Borderlands
Yeah.
style almost. Which I'm
Yeah.
totally cool with. I like that, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
that looks
continue
good.
to be super hopeful and excited for that.
Absolutely.
So
Um, and Platinum announced an Xbox One exclusive, Scalebound.
yeah, that looks kind of dumb. Uh, I don't know. I'm not a big Platinum guy. I played like half of Bayonetta. I haven't played. There's one other game that's sort of Gears of Warzy that people love. What else? Do you know what
What
that
was
is? It's
Gears?
like
Dante's Inferno. That was that then?
no. That's
That was
that's
a,
that's
no,
the
that
Dead
was an
Space guys.
EA one. Yeah. Um, what?
Anyway, I'm not a big Platinum guy, so
Yeah, I'm not
whatever.
a huge fan of those types of action games. Even
Yeah,
God of War, I'm not a big fan of. Um,
yeah, yeah,
there's like those hack and slash, just straight up action games. I'm not a huge fan of. This looks like I mean, it's a CG trailer, so we don't really know. But it looked to be kind of a Monster Hunter type deal. Like, you're a dude who's wearing Beats by Dre and then just hops on a dragon and
yeah.
goes, "We gotta go fight dragons," and then turns into a knight. They
Yep.
make good games, though. The people who like their games really like their games and revere them as one of the best developers of those types of games.
Oh yeah, for
So,
sure. Yeah,
for people who like their games, I'm sure this will be great.
yeah,
I'm with you on this. Not a huge fan of Platinum.
yeah.
Here's a game that I probably will be a fan of, Crackdown.
Yeah, man. They last year they just had like a logo. They threw up a Crackdown logo in the thing. So I was kind of expecting this one to be in a state where they'd show off some more this year. And yeah, it came up. It was like a trailer. Showed a lot of like city destruction stuff. That stuff looks cool. Like most people, I loved the first Crackdown and didn't even play the second one.
Yes.
Because I heard it was terrible. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm ready for another good one of these. But I have heard some commentary around this just about like has like Saints Row eaten Crackdown's lunch at this point. But I don't know. I think there's still plenty that could make a good Crackdown game.
I think that there's a place for both of them. I do think
Yeah.
that Saints Row 4 did Crackdown as good as Crackdown.
Right.
So I mean, but then again, Saints Row 4 was probably a lot of people's big letdown because Saints Row 3 was so great. So I'm sure when Saints Row 5, when that comes out in a year or two, that will be not a Crackdown game. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have a feeling that they're going to take that, they're going to dial that one back to Saints Row the Third, which is not dialing it back that much.
Right.
That game is also batshit insane, just not a
Yeah.
superhero game. With Crackdown, I think that will open it up. So, and people just. I feel like a lot of people who want this game probably have not played Crackdown, but have heard about it. Because a lot of people who even played Crackdown only bought it to get the Halo 3 beta. So,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah, Crackdown. I enjoyed Crackdown, and that's a good game. So, remake of it. Obviously, this is another CGI trailer. Not into
Yeah.
this trend of CGI trailers, but at E3 it is what it is. But whatever. Open world, jumping over things, grabbing orbs. Cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. Looked cool. So that's Microsoft. How did you feel about that overall? I thought they had a really great show.
Yeah, and you know, I think that they're just watching the press conference. It was kick ass. They were just doing it big time, and especially after last year's shit show, they really needed something to pick them up and just be like, no, seriously, we give a shit about you people because you guys are the ones who bought these machines.
Yeah.
So catering to exactly the people that were there. Phil Spencer is just he's not playing around. You know what I mean?
He's killing it, man. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's
he's
legit.
doing great. I love this direction that they're going in. It makes me it makes me from where I had no interest in having an Xbox One a week ago, now looking for the money in my budget. You know,
Right.
they're making a very convincing argument. So good on them. It was awesome.
Yeah, good show. It really, outside of having maybe just a few more big title games like surprise announcements or something, I really don't think they could have done much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's Microsoft. Let's get into the publisher conferences here, starting with EA. Let's jam through these because I know we're going to spend quite a bit of time on Sony and Nintendo too. So,
Yep.
right up front, EA showed off just some promotional, basically, footage of them researching for Star Wars Battlefront. There were some in-engine stuff there that looked absolutely incredible, but it wasn't really in-game or anything. So.
Yeah. And that was insane how good that looked. And it's just one of those things where it got me excited as a Star Wars fan just seeing that kind of stuff. But you're right, I mean, and this is a trend that you will notice, viewer, throughout the rest of this press conference, that this was conceptual. She asked for it. It was conceptual, and that's pretty much the rest of everything here. It's pretty frustrating. I was expecting to see a little bit more from Battlefront. I'm sad that we did not.
Yeah, after like a teaser last year, I thought maybe they'd have a little bit more to show, but the stuff they showed was cool, and I want to play that game, and I can wait until next winter or whenever that'll be. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
here's a question, real quick though. Do you think
Yeah.
that we'll get 2 Star Wars games next year or 1?
what would the other one be? Like just a different thing?
Whatever Visceral is working on.
Oh right, I forgot about the Visceral thing.
Because I know that Amy Hennig just got brought on to Visceral to write that story, but that could be something that is added late game. You know what I mean? Just it doesn't that the game could be underway and then she could walk in and say, "Here's the story." Because I've heard some rumblings that there could be 2 Star Wars games next year.
Also,
Visceral's game.
I hadn't really thought about it until now, but Visceral is working on Battlefield Hardline, so they're directly working with DICE right now on stuff. So they could just be collaborating and working on Battlefront, the story mode or something.
Yeah, just straight up pulling assets for whatever they're working on too.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know.
You know, and I had not thought of this, and we're going off on a Star Wars tangent a little bit right now, but EA owns the Star Wars license.
Yeah.
They own every next-gen texture for Star Wars and, you know, every model for Star Wars. It could be very easy for them to pump these games out like Madden, you know.
Right.
After they get the one, they can just... Now, you know, we have every model we need. All we just have to do is add a couple more outfits, and we can stick this into a Mass Effect, you know.
Right. They'll just have that pool of, like, assets to dig into anytime they need anything.
Hey, and I'm cool with that, man. Just, you know... Anyway, that was a bit of a tangent, but I think that I'm really excited for the new Battlefront, so hopefully we see more soon. But next year we have the potential to have maybe 2 games, but even if it's just 1, I'm cool.
Yeah, Battlefront looks... Yeah, I want to play that. Next up was Dragon Age Inquisition, and they showed off quite a bit, actually. I mean, that game is coming out in October. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
So it should be in pretty good shape, and it seems to be. It looks great. Looks like... what you would expect from like now current gen stuff. It's looking sharp, and they showed a bit of gameplay, and it looks like you still can like do that pull out and kind of like control stuff from up above, tactical style. But still, you got the Mass Effect style action if you want to go that way. So,
are you into those games? Are you a fan of the Dragon Age series?
I actually have not played a Dragon Age game.
Yeah, I played the first one. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Didn't get sucked into it like a lot of people, but I feel like I would have liked it more if I would have played it on PC.
Yeah.
I played it on the 360, and everybody was like, "Yeah, the tactical stuff is awesome," and I'm like, "I did not play it like that. I played it as
Right.
tactical as I could on the Xbox, and it just didn't pull me in." And it was at that time I was really big in the Mass Effect, and I was like, "I gotta buy everything that BioWare makes." And I was a
Yeah.
little let down by that, but this one they're going. It seems like back to the strategy stuff after Assassin's Creed. After Dragon Age 2 was kind of more
Right.
actiony. So I mean, hopefully it's good.
Yeah, I'll probably be buying this. I mean, it seems like something I'd be into.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. They also teased some Mass Effect stuff, and when I say teased, I mean like the most, like they showed nothing. It was I barely would have even known what they were showing was Mass Effect related unless they had said the words Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So it was cool that they're talking about it. I guess that means they're doing it, and alongside that, they were also just like, and we're doing a new thing.
They could have showed that second new thing and just said that this is in the Mass Effect game, and it would have made no difference because we know nothing about either of these games. This is just EA saying, we are spending lots of money on games that you will not see for a very long time, but we cannot just show you NHL and PGA today.
But you will like them, we promise. We're just we don't have them yet.
And they're totally right. I will probably love these games, and Star Wars Battlefront, which they barely showed. But come on, this is a theme this year, and Nintendo does it too. Nintendo does it too, which is annoying this year. But this is egregious. This is horrible.
I mean, this whole thing was out of control at EA, quite frankly. This whole trend of stuff.
Well, half of their announcements were this. It was so dumb. Anyway, sorry, I'm doing this.
There'll be more. Next up, they showed The Sims 4, which I will almost certainly be buying. I like me some Sims.
I love The Sims, man.
Yeah, so I'll be playing this. I mean, this little presentation they showed was really weird. A guy died from laughing.
I am not cool with that. I'm not cool with that. Tweeted about it. If one of my Sims dies of laughter, I will lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
That is horrible. Because The Sims, I do like the cartoony nature of The Sims, and they get a little bit more and more cartoony. I do think The Sims 4 looks a little bit too much like The Sims 3. It looks like they're refining, but they're also working to make sure that everybody's machine can play this. And if we're being honest, The Sims 3 was pretty poorly optimized in general.
Yeah.
It did not run very well.
No.
And this looks like this looks like, just based on pictures and images alone, that it looks like it will run on a regular rig fairly well, because they are pushing it even more towards the cartoon side. But I just I know that they're supposed to be cartoony, but I want them to be even a little bit more detailed, like Nintendo, cartoony but detailed.
Right.
Their art style kind of lets me down. I don't know.
Yeah, like they're not revolutionizing the franchise or anything like that. This is just the next one. It'll have some more stuff. It'll look a little bit better. Just like it's iterative for sure. But so if you're interested in this,
Absolutely. Well, I will buy this regardless.
Me too.
And I remember when SimCity came out, and when they announced Sims 4 like a couple months after, and they said, by the way, you do not need to go online for this.
Right.
We promise. We swear. Yeah. This is the Maxis that you love, not the Maxis that you hate.
Yeah.
So cool. Sims 4.
Yeah. Cool. Next, they showed off some UFC stuff with Bruce Lee talking over some footage. That looks okay. I'm not into those games, so I really don't have anything to say.
I love me some UFC.
I'm
super excited. That was actually, when I watched a bunch of those trailers, that was one of the big purchasing decisions. One of the big things involved in my purchase decision for PlayStation 4 was seeing these gameplay demos for UFC.
Oh, cool.
Excuse me. Yeah, it looks incredible. That game looks like beautiful, but and the one thing about those games, they're so complicated, because MMA is a very complicated sport. Obviously, it's very multifaceted. It's not just standing up and punching. Which, not to say that boxing is not intricate. I'm sure. I mean, it is, but not to the.
Let's not piss off the boxing fans.
The layer of, I love those games too, but the layer of complexity in these UFC games it's just unparalleled in a sports game. Right. I think it's ridiculous, and the characters just look so good. I do think it's a little weird that they have Bruce Lee. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it just almost rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Like it's always weird when they bring back dudes who are dead. That's
Yeah.
always a weird thing.
Yeah, and I did like that when his animations in that game, he was super fast and looked like he would kick somebody's ass.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it did look like it was Bruce Lee fighting, but man, I agree. When they bring dudes back, it's not cool. I let him live in the clouds in heaven.
Right. Yeah. Next up, they showed us some NHL 15. Again, I have nothing to say about this. I really play no sports games outside of golf games. I like me some golf.
Well,
But
you are in for a treat later.
yeah,
Yeah,
coming up.
I'm not into NHL games either. I
Yeah.
hear they're good. They
Yeah,
looked
sure.
nice.
Yeah. But next up, yeah, PGA Tour. They showed off a trailer for the new PGA Tour game. It looked like some golf, and then all of a sudden, aircraft
Levolution.
carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took the Tiger Woods out of the PGA Tour.
Yeah. Tiger is gone, which that's fine. I don't
Is
care
this the
about
first one to do that?
They really toned down the use of his name. Last time around, it was like PGA Tour, like the
Oh, they've
logo
been
was
doing the
way bigger.
Masters, haven't they? Like the Masters PGA
Yeah,
Tour.
they've done Masters, but those were always like I forget. But they've been trying to like slowly remove the Tiger Woods name from the branding
Yeah.
and stuff, and it seems like they're all in now. It's just PGA
Yeah.
Tour. But
Hey, that's cool.
I love those games, and that they're gonna do some like fantasy stuff. That's cool. Like it seems like that was probably focused on in the trailer just to have something to show other than dudes hitting golf balls. I can't imagine that's like a huge part of the game, but it's cool that that stuff's gonna be in there. Because I'll play me some normal courses and I'll play me some wacky courses too.
Yeah, totally. I do like those PGA games, I gotta say. They're fun.
They're good. They're good stuff. They showed some Madden stuff.
Yeah. That's Madden.
Yeah, Madden.
Real quick, I don't know, maybe you may have skipped over the Criterion thing.
Yeah, maybe I did. So yeah, Criterion showed off a thing. They're way pared down at this point. I don't know how many people are on the team, but they're down from hundreds down to like dozens or something like that.
Yeah, I think
And they
maybe
showed
a
off-
dozen.
Yeah, maybe a dozen. And they showed off their like early prototype thing, which is basically GoPro the game.
Yes, GoPro the game is a very good way to put it. Extreme Dude, the game.
So there's dudes like piloting helicopters, jumping out of that helicopter onto ATVs, jumping off of cliffs.
I'm thinking if this game is just not called Dude the game, just dudes.
Yeah, dudes, bros.
If there's not a Mountain Dew can in this game, I will be so disappointed. There's not Dorito Power Up,
Yeah, so
Mountain Dew Boost.
the concept is cool, and I know those guys have been like kind of playing around with doing different sorts of vehicles. Like even when the Burnout stuff, they were gonna do planes, but they didn't for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
it's cool that they're doing this, but like the Battlefront stuff and like the other real early Mass Effect stuff, like this was just like way early prototypes that they were obviously just like trying to see if they could even make it work.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to even say about it, other than they had a cool idea, and it seems like they might be able to do the idea. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, everything is in first person. They were riding ATVs and all that stuff, and and it was there was no textures on anything. That's how early it was, and that's about all we can really say about it. I mean, it's a through line for this whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And it continues.
Yeah, so next up they showed Dawngate, which is their MOBA. I don't play MOBAs, so I have nothing to add.
Me neither, yeah.
Some FIFA 15. I have played me some soccer games in the past. So at some point I'll pick up another soccer game. It's been a few years, so it might be time for me there. Also, anything on that one?
No, I'm not a fan of FIFA.
and I skipped over the big one. Mirror's Edge 2.
Yeah.
Real early footage of, again, prototype stuff on Mirror's Edge 2. I'm a huge fan of the original Mirror's Edge.
The first Mirror's Edge is awesome. Yeah.
I think I've probably played it through at least twice. And, yeah, love it. Just love everything going on in that game outside of the complaint that everyone has. I wish there was less emphasis on gunplay.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I did like, though, because they can't avoid combat in these games, and they decided to present it in a way that I thought was actually pretty neat. And saying, like, we know, basically they're saying, we know we fucked up. You didn't want to shoot guns. You wanted to run around. So now there will still be dudes with guns and batons and stuff, but you beat them up by running and jumping around on them and stuff. Because the best parts of the combat in Mirror's Edge were when you were like sliding under people, you know what I mean, and like kicking people in the head, and then and they showed, you know, she was running around a corner, jumped wall ran, and then kicked a dude in the head. You know, that's cool. That is like the what District 13 kind of parkour that I think is really necessary for this type of game, instead of focusing on that gunplay, which was not necessary at all. Because if there's going to be gunplay, then just don't even have bad guys in the game, as far as I'm concerned.
Right. Yeah. The stuff they showed looked cool. It looked very Mirror's Edgy. Like if they had said that was running on the Mirror's 1 engine, I would have said, yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Like, it just looked like stuff they were prototyping, and those moves did look cool. But I think it takes a little bit. Not that game is really in the realm of reality anyway, but like the jump, like bunny hopping on dudes and stuff, like it's taking it out there even further. But that's fine. I don't care.
I do really like the new Faith redesign. I think that character model looks amazing. I think that her as a character, I don't know. I just didn't really dig her character design in Mirror's Edge 1. I gotta say.
I agree. Yeah.
But in this new one, I mean, it's not like they sexed her up or anything. You know what I mean? No. So it's not like my inner man is really like, whoa, hot girl, awesome. It's just she just looks like a cool character in this game.
I agree.
Something about her character design, it looks great. I don't know. Yeah.
I agree. Cool stuff. And then they basically closed with some Battlefield Hardline stuff. I don't really even have anything to say about Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, I think, is the best way to describe Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, it's a Battlefield game. Hopefully it's better than Battlefield 4, like, at launch. And like right here it says 1080p, 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Actually works.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, it's not what I would want, what I feel like I would want from a cops and robbers game. It doesn't look like the atmosphere going on there just looks like a Battlefield shooter. Like, there's no tension. Like, I don't know. It's just not what I would want from what their premise seems to be. So it's weird.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I think it's a little too shooty for I mean, as ridiculous as it sounds, I think that this is a little bit too shooty for cops and robbers. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know, but then again, in a modern military, like, you know, the way that we're handling these kind of first-person shooters, this might be the only way you could do this game. Even, I mean, I think even that, Payday is a little bit too shooty. Just, you know, you're dudes with bags of money. Shoot every cop, like, in waves and waves. How much money could you possibly have that could pay for all of this C4 bomb, you know, this professional wheelman, these, you know, all of these assault rifles and this, you know, all this tech that you're utilizing you're not justifying any of that purchase.
Yeah.
Same thing with this Battlefield game, you know. I think they're actually, and this, I'm probably stealing this from the Giant Bombcast too, but they said, like, it is just not viable what they are doing as the robbers. There is no amount of loot, and it's just strictly called loot. But there is no amount of loot that is worth the millions of dollars that they spent to.
Right.
And then just knocking over buildings with that crane just because Battlefield 4 did it. Like, okay, I mean, I know what they're doing with this Battlefield. Yeah. And, you know, I get it. They're using Battlefield, so they have to do all these, like, Battlefield trappings now.
Yeah. So I guess that's it for EA. It was a pretty disappointing show for me.
Yes. I will say from top to bottom, I was disappointed on pretty much every front. I mean, it was just. I was the fact that I walked away saying I really like that Star Wars thing basically because I'm a shill for Star Wars, and hey, Sims 4 looks pretty cool.
Right.